It seems seems our number is static. Anyway, let's start. Others will be joining us. So, last lecture that was 2 weeks ago. I think we cover mostly on agile. If you can hear me clearly, can one or two people let me know?
Yes, it's
Yes.
clear.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, that's fantastic. Once again, welcome to today's lecture. My name is Bernard Odukudu, short for Ben. So, and I'm a project consultant. Last week, we covered most of the overall agile topic on the value to principle, and we did a lot of deep dive into histories and a good theoretical knowledge that we can stand on, that we can build our knowledge of Scrum on. So today we're going to be streamlined down into Scrum alone. We said in our last week that Scrum is just one of the practices of Agile, if you can remember. So there are other type of practices of Agile. The lightweight one is Scrum, Kanban, continuous development, continuous integration, and so on. Also to the high level scaled agile methodology like that, save less. The left hand side at this level, don't get yourself bothered. That will be done by the senior management. So I know you're going to be working within a Scrum team in what we call, some people call them Scrum team, some people call them squad. It depends on the terminology in a different organization. So like me, I'm used to squad. So today we're going to be doing more of a deep dive into Scrum, which is going to be what the internship will be focusing on too. So Scrum is like a practice of Agile. So as we discussed. So the Scrum in 100 words. So as simple as it is, an agile process that allows us to focus on delivering the highest business value in the shortest time, and it allows us to rapidly and repeatedly inspect actual working software every 2 weeks to 1 month. It's allow business to set priority, allow the team to self-organize in such a way to best delivered, and in short time, within 2 to 3 weeks, we have a working software to release or to enhance. So you can see from the 100 words here, we some of it are related to the principles and value of agile, which is working software, frequent deliveries frequently, focusing on business value, engaging stakeholder, where the business allowed to prioritize, and self-organizing team. So inspect and adapt to, you can see them in coming up here too. So nobody's going to tell you to describe to define Scrum, but you must you must say explain the difference between Scrum and other parts of experience Scrum, or maybe differentiate between Scrum and other Agile. So these are a good 100 words to you can pick from to express yourself. We deliver frequently, give team very free hand to self-organize, allow business to set priority, and frequently there is something to demo to show that we're making progress. So a good way of talking about Scrum. So there are pillars of Scrum. These are three pillars of Scrum. Like Scrum on its own too is a mailing methodology that has its own processes and approach, but everything fall within the agile principle and value. So the three pillars of Scrum are transparency, inspection, and adaptation. In the transparency, it gives visibility to um, of the process to stakeholders in a Scrum team. All your process, your map, your board, they are visible in such a way that key stakeholders can actually know where. the progress, know where the bottlenecks are by what is displayed in your board, and they can observe you too. So I'm having a call. Let me switch off my phone. So inspection is part of the key pillar of Scrum, where we do a timely check on progress toward the sprint goal, so that we inspect and adapt. We do checking on the progress, and during the sprint, the work evolve by making sure we're getting a feedback and integrating that feedback into our work in order to take advantage of empirical to take advantage of empirical value, where we collect current feedback, consistent feedback to improve real work. So also the adaptation too is a good pillar. It's one of the pillars. So these are the three pillars of Scrum. If anybody asks you, it's good to keep it in memory, but it's not what we cram. It's about our ability to explain and relate it to the way we work. So also Scrum has its own five mini values. So three pillars, five values. The courage. Scrum team must have courage to do the right thing and work on the problem. The right thing, including making sure that you can challenge the design, come up with the best way, and making sure that you do you there's more feasibility of your work. In the traditional method, it's very difficult to know the status of project except through the status report and the former reporting process. But in Agile, in most cases, when there's a problem, you do the right thing, allow you escalate quickly to take advantage of early resolution to minimize risk. So another one is focus. Everyone focus on the work of the sprint and the goal. Every sprint is time bound, 2 weeks, 1 week, or 4 weeks, depending on the what is applicable. Your focus on that during that time is focus on that sprint goal, sprint work to make sure they are delivered because the team has committed to it. And the failure of the sprint is not is a failure of the whole team. So commitment to people personally commit to the sprint goal by making sure that you complete the work that you've committed to do. Then respect. There's no wrong or right answer. So within that is very key when you are located into a sprint into a scrum team. Respect other. Believe that everybody is good on their own capability. You'll be working with development, working with the BA tester, and in most cases combination of a multi-skills team where we have to respect everybody's opinion. So openness too is what I've said in the beginning. The Scrum team is open. So the stakeholders and the team, their work are open, their performance are open, their error are open to stakeholder, and they get feedback frequently. So you're not hiding. So that it's better you fail fast, so that you're not wasting resources to build what is not needed. Or it's better you get feedback quickly, so that you're on the right path and reduce the risk of project not being successful. So those are the value. As I've said too, these are theoretical background that can help you to buy time in interview if you want to demonstrate your knowledge of Scrum. But I'm not sure that anybody's going to be asking you that define what are the Scrum principles. Maybe it depends on this, but it's good we know all these values and the pillar that's guiding the Scrum team. So and the best way is not to it's not to memorize, is to make sure that we demonstrate these values anytime we are working within a Scrum team. So also I've done a bit of why Scrum. The top the top reason why Scrum is delivering is becoming popular. It's 1 to 10 is increase productivity and lower cost. I know it's like what we're doing in Agile too, but in Scrum in particular, it's going to it's lowering costs, increasing productivity. You deliver value, high quality product get to market faster because every 2 weeks you have a working software that you are delivering and that you are demo or releasing. Improve personal satisfaction because the team is self-organized and the respect aspect of the value of Scrum is making everybody feel more within the team. Better client relation because the stakeholders are always there to guide, to feedback, and their feedback are taken on board and they are allowed to change and prioritize and they determine what the Scrum team will do. So they will be very happy. So improve communication within the team and external stakeholder. So less technical depth because the sprint is always agreed. You don't put anything in the sprint that there's no available technology to to carry it to get it done in that sprint. So any work that has been committed in the sprint, there have been some factors that have been considered in terms of resource availability, technical capability, and other factors before an item is put in the sprint to be done. So full skill team to get job done. Yeah, the team is set up in such a way that all the professional skills are available within that sprint. Will be adjusted.
Hi Ben. Sorry, can't really hear you properly. It's a bit faint.
Ah, this from beginning or just like that now.
I think about 10 minutes ago it started, but just when you spoke now, it's kind of loud, but it was really faint for the past couple of minutes.
Thank you for letting me know. So
That's all right.
let me as I said, these are the advantages of using Scrum, benefit of using Scrum in delivering software, from value to quick delivery to uh, people that are even doing the work they are happy, and people that they are doing the work for, which is the business people they are carried along, they are happy to. So there's a satisfaction across the board by the person that is doing the job and the person that is paying for it. The work is faster, the work is getting value, is getting at lower cost. So it's all around positive process there in Scrum, and that's why it's becoming popular. And that's why Scrum is kicking out the old waterfall method, except where Scrum is not applicable. So, am I a bit clear now? I know there are some this question that was asked in the last lecture about what are the type of projects
Yes, it's much better. Thanks.
that what are the yeah, that what are the type of projects that you can use agile for and which one can you use waterfall for. These are example of a project that Scrum has been used successfully used for commercial software, in-house development, contract development, fixed project, financial application, mobile phone application, satellite, all kind of technical, all kind of software applications has been proven to be deliverable by Scrum, better by Scrum. Especially if there are a lot of technical uncertainty, a lot of requirement uncertainty at the beginning, Scrum is actually the best to use so that we can learn along, we can take advantage of the empirical advantage of Scrum. So as a whole, there's no Scrum is adaptable. Scrum can be used to deliver nearly all software projects. So that's why I've come up with this slide to give a sample of Scrum project. Okay, yeah, it's a Scrum on the page. So is this is the old Scrum. I call it Scrum end to end, from the beginning to head on the page. So I think if you can take a snap of of this screen, or when you have a copy, you get it and keep it close to you. This will give you. You don't need to cram anything. If you are looking at this, you know how the scroll from left to right. So the product backlog is the list of features of item in high level that need to be delivered. The business has selected that these are what we want you guys to deliver for us. For example, if you are delivering e-commerce software, you have some as of for example, put a backlog in the under the in the later slide. So they are the list of business prioritized business items work that needs to be done. That the product owner has already agreed with the business people that these are the items that need to be delivered for business with the right value. So they are arranging the product backlog. They are always high level, not very detailed, but they are written in a story in such a way that they show the value. So from the product backlog, the owner of the product backlog is a product owner, as the name is. They change the groom, they review, they prioritize this product backlog all the time. So prioritize, groom, and review. We use them interchangeably. Some people say grooming. So some people say prioritize, not the review. It's about working on it, reviewing it based on business value. Let's say at the beginning of the project, the PO will sit down with the business team to look at this stage what part of this feature do you want us to do first. Okay, let's do the front let's say the front end of the system. But during the as the project goes, the requirement might change from the business. The PO has to come back again and prioritize based on business value, in line with agile value that these things can be changed along project life cycle. So constantly the product owner will be liaising with the business to make sure that it's validating that, are you still very sure that these are the value you want, and also making sure that they are reviewed all the time. Then from this backlog, then the sprint backlog, the second grade is produced frequently in every two weeks, depending on the sprint. If it's a 2 week sprint, which means every 2 weeks we have to have a sprint backlog. And for us to have a sprint backlog, there must be a sprint meeting. So from the list of items that are listed in the high level epic features, one or two of them is taken into is broken down to form a sprint backlog. Sprint backlog is what the Scrum team will work on during the sprint of maybe 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And for us to prepare the sprint backlog, there'll be a sprint meeting depending on it might be 2 hours to 4 hours, depending on the length of the. If you are in most cases, if it's a 2 week sprint, most of the sprint planning is 2 hours. It can be longer during the beginning, but as you go along the project life cycle, you are getting used to the process. During the sprint backlog, a particular sprint goal is agreed that during this sprint backlog, let's say we want to do all the back end database, all the features that is required to make sure that back-end database can be completed is selected, and they are broken down into smaller tasks that that can be that one developer can actually pick and work on maybe for a day or two. So sprint backlog is smaller than product backlog, and let's say we have 10 items in sprint backlog in the product backlog. One of them might be what we're going to break down into smaller tasks to form sprint backlog. That is just might be a ratio of 1 to 10. That can be how big in term of size. But that item must have a goal, that a key business value that must be achieved during that sprint, and they are broken down into smaller tasks that form sprint backlog. And the sprint backlog is what the team will now be working on throughout the sprint of 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And gradually, if you see the circle around the arrow at the beginning, the sprint is full. Gradually, as you move around you progress during the sprint, it becomes smaller gradually until sorry the circle is keep on becoming smaller until towards the end of the sprint. And and one of the key activities that drive the sprint is daily scrum. I think this is one of the most popular activity. We call it ceremony. Ramsey. So it's one of the key ceremony in Agile. Most of their meeting we call them ceremonies. Like sprint is a ceremony, daily scrum is a ceremony, sprint review and retro their ceremonies. So the first ceremony is a sprint planning. The next one is a daily scrum. This one is 15 maximum 15 minutes every day, where the team will come together the same time, the same location if they are co-located. But in most cases now for global team, they are agree. We do video conferencing. We have the same time every day where everybody would log in and dial in, and there will be a board to look at the review. The aim of the daily scrum is number one is risk management, to make sure that we reduce the risk to delivery by making sure that where there's a feasibility of progress is checked on daily basis. This is where we ensure short interval control of the delivery. The during the daily scrum, 15 minutes, everybody's going to be there standing up. You don't have to sit down. They call it daily stand, so that it's simple and it's straightforward. You come to the front and you're going to be asking you three questions of what you did yesterday, what you are doing today, and if you're having any problem or impediment. Those are the three things you're going to say. I work on this yesterday. I'm doing this today. I don't have any issue. I'm working on this yesterday. I'm doing this today. I have this problem. So the essence is to make sure that if there's anything impeding progress is well clear to the team and is tackled as earlier in the delivery. Every day throughout the sprint, if you have to for 2 weeks, this meeting is done, and after the meeting, the product is updated in the board, which is the board down chart here, where we're going to be updating the progress gradually. At the beginning, the number of items is going to be high. Maybe on Monday, by Friday, maybe it's going to be almost middle. Then by the second week, it's going to go, as you are delivering, it's going to be going down, which is why it's called burn down. So, and there's our task board also showing that to do, in progress, and done. To do are the list of item in the sprint in the board. In progress are the one that we are working on gradually, that somebody is actually working on. In progress we have the name of the person working it. Then done are the one that's already completed. In line with the principle of feasibility that we'll talk about in, in transparency and openness. This part of where you deliver, you show it, because here, hold on. Here, this board is visible to all your stakeholders. They know your progress based on the task board. Your burn down chart, you don't hide it. It's for a co-located team. It's going to be in one corner in a physical board in the room. So all your stakeholders can see whether how you are progressing, what has been done. For example, if you are committed to 20 items at the beginning, and maybe by almost 40% of the time has gone, if you are still like 80% remaining, then you know that your stakeholder will know that maybe this sprint is not going very well. You know what I'm saying? We have less than 3 days. 80% of the items are still undone. So people can actually come to start asking questions. What's the problem? And then we'll reduce the risk of delivery immediately. So that is all. That's the way the Scrum is set up, is make sure that it's in line with the openness and the transparency. Then at the end of every sprint, 2 weeks, that's what we call sprint review. The sprint review is a meeting or ceremony where the output of work that has been done during the sprint is actually now shown, is demo to the stakeholders, mainly the product owner, who can invite other business where when required. Then another ceremony is the spring retro. It's where the team we actually look at the way they've worked during the spring, and look at what are the good things that they need to keep, what are the things that they need to improve on, what are the things that they need to drop. So that is in line with the inspect and adapt. Yeah. So it's in line with the inspect and adapt pillar of Scrum. So all these ceremony and the processes are the reason why Scrum is actually delivering fast, delivering in lesser time and cheaper, and where both people that are working and the people that are paying the stakeholder they are satisfied. So that is Scrum in end to end here. So, and at the end of every sprint, a working software is released to the business, and in some cases where the software is smaller enough, it's not big enough to release. It's actually kept for until there be a major release, which might be maybe every 3 sprint there be a major release. So that is how at end of every 2 weeks or 4 weeks, you have something to demo, which is also in line with the principle that working software is a sign of progress. So Scrum is set up in such a way that frequently you're showing progress. So this that is the Scrum end to end. This is what will guide you during the internship and guide you on in the Scrum meeting all the time. So any question here or any? Yeah,
I have a question, please.
thank you. Yeah, what is it?
Okay, so I know that two-part question. The first one is at what point, because on this diagram I can't see the grooming, the sprint groom, the grooming session, whatever here. And also I want to know what are the activities that goes on in the sprint planning other than looking at the user stories.
We're going to go where in the later slide where we see have we're going to go into detail of this story, these ceremonies and artifacts later in detail. So I'm just presenting this as a end-to-end one-page Scrum now. So you're going to get the detail later in the slide.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And also the last item I've not mentioned are the Scrum team. The 3 core recognized Scrum team are product owner, which own the product backlog, Scrum Master, which own the Scrum process, and the team member, which are the team member which they do the work. So the Scrum Master does not do is not in most cases they are not it's not part of the team that will do the work. His own is to make sure that they follow all the Scrum processes. They make sure that the planning is done according to effectively. Daily Scrum is carried out, sprint review is carried out, and retro is carried out. We're going to be doing a deep diving into all their role in the later slide. So that's it. Yeah. Okay. Then I will move to another. This next one. This is also very good. Summary page. What you call it Scrum's cheat sheet. Is an overall summary of all the role activities and things that happen in Scrum too. So with these 2 slides, you can okay to for a quick revision of what Scrum is in maybe 2 minutes or few hours of your interview. So Scrum processes are organized in a short iteration during which the team plan, execute, and they review their work. The events, as I've said, some people call events, some people call the story sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective, which is what I've discussed. The retro is where it's for the team check to improve or to check how they've done their work, while the sprint review is actually to check and demo the product has been done. So the sprint review is for products, it's like a product review, while the retro person is a process review. So the daily Scrum is the meeting they have every day to check progress and making sure that progress is visible, issue and impediment is raised. so it can be addressed. The planning is where the work of the sprint is actually planned. The hour depending on the length of the sprint. So sprint is event. It's like a tenor, a time set, a time box for when activity needs to be demonstrated. Some other terminology here on the left are product backlog, which is what the that one that which is the one I'm talking about, which is where the the work item is broken into high level products, and from there items are broken down to form sprint backlog. You know what I'm saying? And the sprint backlog are actually written in what we call a user story in a line in such a way that is is user driven. So we're going to cover that later too. Then epic is like when you say like story times two times three. A bigger story is called epic. So story point is how we measure story, like how we allocate weight is a story. A smaller story might be like three, while a bigger story might be five. Story point normally follow what we call Fibonacci metric, which is like is 1, 3, 5, 8 is formed by 1 plus 2, forming three, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8. So there's a Fibonacci sequence that we use to actually assign points to story. So that will be, I think there will be more section on story estimation during internship. There are a lot of other slides that I'll cover them too. But I'm just trying here just to make sure that I'm bringing everything to you in one page, so that this page and this page will actually is a good summary of what we're going to be diving into later in the lecture. So, okay, sprint. So Scrum project make progress in series of sprints. So, and as I've said, it's like between 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the organization. And a constant duration leads to a better reading, product design, coded, and tested during a sprint. Every sprint, there must be something that we have to demo, where we have to review during the sprint review, a product that we call minimum viable product that must be produced in line with agile principle of a frequency delivery of as a sign of progress. So so the other Scrum framework, we're going to be looking at them a bit now into more detail. So we'll start with the role, then the ceremony, then the activers. So the roles are the people aspect of it, what A and B will do, why the ceremony are the meetings, the activity that we carry out, why the artifacts are the product, the outputs that we interact with in the Scrum. So the key roles, as I've said before, is product owner, Scrum Master, and the Scrum team and the team. So product owner define the product, decide on the release date and content, is responsible for from the benefit, return on investment. They prioritize the product or the feature according to the market value, and they adjust the feature based on business need. And at the end of the day, when you are doing your product review, they either accept or reject what has been done. So product owner role is a very powerful role. They are like they represent the business in the development team. So they liaise with business on day to day. They understand the value that the item need to be delivered, and at the end of the day, during demo, that agreed item must be the finished product must actually be in line and deliver the value. So they ensure that how they ensure this to make sure that the sprint planning are actually robust in such a way that there's a sprint goal and the items that are in the sprint will actually deliver the value. So at the end of the product owner owns the sprint meeting, but the Scrum Master will actually coordinate and ensure along with the team to make sure that all the items that are needed to deliver the value are actually present before the sprint before the sprint comments. Scrum Master is a process. It's like if you call this guy a product owner, Scrum Master is a process owner. Scrum Master owns the Scrum process to make sure that everybody knows what they need to be doing at every point during the Scrum. It's as simple as that. They know when to make sure all the processes are carried out, all the ceremonies are carried out, all the artifacts are in good shape, all the hygiene are done, and everybody understands Scrum process and all of that. And so Scrum Master, as a simple, is a process owner. His own Scrum process is responsible for making sure that the team are behaving and practicing the value. It remove the impediment, which are the any problem, any blocker that the team is having. It ensure that the environment is productive and ensure that the team is protected from external influences. Where the team need to be protected from external influences, like as per the Scrum value, which focus when a sprint is agreed and a sprint is started, the team is allowed to focus on those sprint in such a way that the Scrum Master will shield the team from external impact and minimize the way they are distracted. Anybody that has to go to or contact the team has to go through Scrum Master to make sure that they are the reason is genuine, and to make sure that the spring goal is not derailed. So that is one of the key. Then the Scrum team in most cases is between 5 to 9. Some people are saying between 9 to 12. It depends on what works for 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 the team, but it's average of 5 to 9. It's cross-functional, different people from tester, BA, designer, programmer, and most of you guys are here. People are looking for the area they are going. Maybe people are already maybe be a BA, a Scrum Master, a tester, or a programmer. So the team consists of all those people. So the membership, they are full-time member. They are not going to be committed to any other work apart from the sprint work, and they are self-organized in such a way that they pick the work they want to do, and in most cases members should only change between sprints. When the sprint has started, you can't remove anybody within the sprint, but maybe before another sprint is started, you have to make sure that you still have the same resources, or you want to move one resources to another. But it's always good to keep the team together so that they can maintain what we call a constant delivery velocity. Any question on role?
Um, yes. How does the Scrum Master uh, make the team to deliver value?
Normally, is good. It's the product owner that will make the team to deliver value. It's the product owner that makes sure that everything that is going to the sprint is in line with the business value that's required at that time. So for a scrum master to deliver, for the team to deliver value, you have to have an effective spring backlog, which is,
Okay.
which is a product of a effective spring meeting. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's just like it's anything you tell them, anything they agree to do that they will do during the sprint. But they are there, they are part of the team during the sprint, and make sure that if they at the end of the day, if at this stage what we are doing is we're improving the security of a system during this sprint, they have to make sure that all the tasks that are in the sprint are related to security. Do you understand?
Yes. So how does Scrum Master encourage the team to be committed to what they've agreed on?
Number one, the team is respected. You know what I'm saying? They are competent people, they are respected people, and they allow team to select what they want to do. So you don't they pick the item they can work on and they can commit to.
Okay.
So in that, it's an integrity issue, which is part of the values too, right? That if you are committed to a work, you have to deliver it. Except you have that's why you are doing the daily stand up. That if you're having any issue, shout quickly so that we can help you resolve the issue quickly. Are you getting it? So we don't know, you can commit to a work at the end of the day at the beginning, but along the line you might run to a problem. That is why every day in this daily stand-up meeting, what you are reporting on is what you've done, your progress, what you want to do next, and if there's any problem. So through this process, the Scrum Master is ensuring that the team will deliver by making sure that they are giving progress, and by making sure that all the issues they are raising there are being resolved.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ben.
Yeah. Okay, let's run. See, I have a lot to do today. So that is the team. I will still do time permitting. There's later session of the training. I will do more deep diving into what is expected, the kind of characteristics of every member in the team, what is that actually makes a Scrum work. So let's fire on to the next one, which is the ceremonies. The ceremonies, they are like I said, they are like the meeting. You know what I'm saying? They are the meeting that are done during Scrum to make sure that things are the Scrum deliver a value, and the project move along the project life cycle. So sprint planning, as I've explained, the aim of this planning is to make sure that we plan the work that we want to do during the sprint. The sprint planning is the meeting, is the ceremony where we plan the work that needs to be done in a sprint. So if it's a 2 week sprint, we plan the work for that 2 week sprint. If it's 4 week sprint, we plan the work that is in line with that sprint. But what is unique there is like every sprint must have a sprint goal, which is a particular business value that needs to be delivered, a particular progress that needs to be made. So based on that goal, your items are selected to form that sprint, so that at the end of the day, we will know that a business value has been delivered. So it's not just any meeting, it's a meeting that has to be, I think this answered the question that somebody asked earlier. It's a meeting where a value must be agreed to be delivered at the end. So this.
Sorry, Mr. Ben.
Yeah.
In sprint planning, is the product owner uh, involved?
The product owner is the owner.
Is the owner?
Is the owner, because at the end of the day, it's just like a meeting. You want somebody to do something for you. That is where you give instruction. Are you getting it? Because at the end of the day, technically, to keep it simple, Scrum Master and the product and the team, they are working for a product owner. Are you getting it? The sprint meeting is where the product owner will say, okay, this is what I want you to do for me. The team will run away and do it during the sprint, and during the sprint demo review, they will now call product owner, sir, this is what we've now done. Please check. Are you happy? Do you understand it now?
Thank you.
Yeah. So the sprint meeting, the Scrum Master coordinated, but the owner at the end of the day is the product owner. So during the sprint meeting, they look at dependencies they need to consider. Do we have team capacity? Have adequate backlog? In business condition? What are the business conditions that we need to meet? Business value that we need to focus on? What are the current products? What are the technology that is available? When we consider all these things, then that will determine that, okay, at this sprint, let's set a goal. Our goal this spring is to, for example, is to complete the payment for our e-commerce website. Our goal might be to continue the contact us session of the website. It might be our goal this spring is to complete the payment section of the website, or our goal this spring is to complete the link to all the social media part of the website for review. So based on that, all the items that will go into the sprint, all the work that go to the sprint must relate to payment. If we are dealing payment, so our goal is to complete payment. So any item that is not related to payment will not go into that sprint, which is why the sprint is delivering value. So the sprint plan is decide how to achieve the sprint, create sprint backlog, and estimate the backlog in hours. The items will be listed and estimated in hours to make sure that we have enough and we are not overloading the sprint. So, but before then, we have to make sure that there's enough capacity. The item we are picking to that sprint, there's enough technology to deliver it, and it's in line with the business There's a business value we're delivering at the end. So at the end of every sprint meeting, there are two things you have to get: the sprint goal and the sprint backlog. If that sprint backlog is the list of what that need to be done in the sprint, it's the sprint backlog that we're not going to take to the sprint that we're going to be working on for the remaining, maybe for the 2 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on the sprint duration. So yeah, that's the next ceremony is a daily scrum, and I think we'll talk about this again. I said we're doing a deep diving. It's done daily. 15 minutes is standing up. It's not where you are going to be solving problem. A lot of people is invited. Only team member, scrum master, product owner can talk. Other people can observe, but only the team members can talk. So it's one of those openness value of a scrum too, where feasibility and openness. Other people can come and observe your sprint. Maybe they want to know whether they want to get updates from you. They want to know how effective the team is delivering. They want to also get the progress. So they there, but in the meeting, only the people that are working will talk. And the scrum master coordinate the meeting. By the end of the day, as the team become competent in the scrum process, at times the scrum master might 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 allow the team to conduct the daily scrum. So this is a tricky question. Daily scrum is meant for the team. It's not meant for the scrum master. Scrum master will start it, train them, coordinate it if it's available. But if scrum master is not available, the team must do the scrum meeting on their own.
Um, yes, I was told. I watched a video. I was told that during the daily scrum, conflict can be resolved during this time.
It depends. It's not advisable because it's time banned. Are you getting it? Is it
Right.
conflict or issue or impediment? When
Conflict.
when you're talking about conflict now, that's more of a team issue. The best way, if it's what that need more time, the scrum master will note it down and book appropriate meeting for that issue or conflict to be resolved. But it's not the appropriate place to be resolving issue because it's time bound. If you have like 10 people to talk, you know what I'm saying? It's not where one person is talking like 3 minutes, while the other will not be getting updates. The main reason here is to give updates and to identify issue. It's not for conflict resolution.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that is the daily scrum. We're going to do a deep dive again later. I'm just doing them a bit. So these are the questions that we are. What did you do yesterday? What will you do today? In any way, is anything in your way? Is there any problem? That is it. I don't have problem. Today I completed the front page. I've completed maybe 4 lines of coding. Maybe yesterday I completed 4 lines of coding. Today I should be able to complete four or five. Any problem? No problem so far. That is made done. Move to the next person. Move to the next person. Then I'm having issue with it because of the technology is not available. When I was doing my line of code, I ran into this issue, or this issue is too big for me. I had to split it. Then the issue is noted. The scrum master will note that, and at the end of the meeting, my book meeting with that particular person or any external stakeholder that will be in position to help after the meeting. So as I've said, that meeting is to de-risk the project. So at the end of the day, Scrum Master will always have action in some cases, in most cases, at the end of the meeting to go and resolve that impediment. So this is most questions. You can frame it the way you like. What I did yesterday, what I will do today. Is there any issue? It depends on that. Just keep it simple.
Sorry. Epidemic could be something like a lack of skill or adequate knowledge.
Impediment can be any issue that arise during the work. It can be any issue that affect the team. You know what I'm saying? Any problem is impediment. That may be an appropriate impediment that have been discovered. But lack of skill, in most cases, will not be because that would have been, as I've said, that would have been looked into before the sprint to note at the team capacity. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, to avoid that. Yeah. So, sprint review, to keep it simple, is like where the team present what has been accomplished during the sprint, typically take a form of a demo, like a software that we have to demo, click here, show this and that. And it depends on the hour. Law is like 2 hours, the whole team participates, and you invite you can invite the whole world, but mostly the person that has to be there, product owner. The product owner that will say, yes, yes, we got it. No, I don't want, or I want more. I want to add this and this and that. So the feedback from there can be part of the sprint next time. So what you are achieving, you are demonstrating what has been done during the sprint to the stakeholder. So all the team are there, coordinated by the Scrum Master, but the product owner and the team, they are there. Then the sprint retrospective is where you actually check. It's a process review. As I've said, the other one is product review. This one is process review. You should practically take a look, and it's where you check how you what worked well for you, what you need to improve on, and any other suggestion to make sure that the team is doing fine. Are you getting any feedback? It's open. It's not a blame game, and they do it in such a way that you should be able to express yourself. There are some people that you have to do it in such a way that electronic voting to make sure that in this sprint, what are the things that you don't like? It might be kind of all this MOD that you put there. There are a lot of ways they do it to make sure that people can speak up, and you are not afraid of expressing yourself because of authority. Are you getting it? That's why it's not in such a way that, because that is the best way. It's just like our kids. You don't want to scare them. You want to give them an environment where they will able to express their feeling, good or bad, so that you'll be able to yourself work on it. That's the kind of environment you create in a sprint retro. There's no blame game here. Are you getting it? At the end of the day, we want to improve. We need data to improve. So that's it. So it's a process improvement, and this is in line with the inspect and adapt value of agile.
Sorry, sir. I read somewhere that the retro is time box for 3 hours, but you have 15 to 20, 30 minutes here.
For a 1 week sprint. You know what I'm saying? For a 4 week sprint, 2 week sprint, and for a 1 week sprint, they are different. For a 1 week sprint, within 30, 15 to, let's say, maximum 30 minutes should be okay. And as it depends on the issue and how the sprint has gone. I get it. Nobody's going to pay you on wanting to know on the actual timing. The only timing in agile that is fixed is daily scrum. It's 15 minutes. Others can vary depending on the team, depending on delivery, and depending on how well are you getting it. The team has performed in the sprint. So there are some that the literature that will tell you is 3 hours, 1 hour. But what matters is like stop doing, continue doing. All these three items must be gathered. You know that at the beginning of a scrum team, in the sprint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, their retro might be taking longer, but as they are performing, you know what I'm saying, they've gone through the token curve of team development. They are performing very well. Most of the time, they have their method. They know what is working for them. You know, in that case, the time spent on a retro in a sprint 10 is going to be different from time spent on retro on sprint 1 or 2. Are you getting it now? So don't fix our mind on all these all these parameters. They are slippery parameters that depend on the situation. So, but the most value is like things that have to come out is what are the things that we need to be doing, what are the things that we need to stop doing, what are the things we need to start doing. The starting is the new thing. Starting is the bad one. We have to drop. The continuing thing are the one that, okay, we've been doing it. We have to continue. That is the most important outcome of the restroom. It's not how long, but in most cases, every organization will do it different way. Yeah.
I have a question, please. Okay, so what's the role apart from facilitation? what's the role of a Scrum Master during the ceremonies, especially the sprint planning, the review, and the retro?
Yeah, I will go into detail later. There's about 2 or 3 slides on Scrum Master, so I'll touch that later.
Okay.
I also have a question, sir.
You cannot ask the question. Yeah.
The new Scrum, how does it play out with the development team? Is the development team still doing what they do before? How does the new Scrum Guide play out with them now?
The development team, they don't change. You see the same development team, but they work in iteration, which is sprint. And every project can have up to like, sorry, I have a bit of background. Some people are very happy behind me. Hold on. So the development team, the best way is to keep them constant. You don't change them. It depends on the size of the project. You might have up to like 100 sprints in a project, 50 sprints. So every sprint they improve, because if you keep on changing them, all the sprint review will not be effective, because every new person you are bringing in is going to be losing or not blending with the team or introducing new culture. Are you getting it? So the sprint team is encouraged to stay together, so they don't change where possible. But people might resign, people might go. So then we're going to be looking at the artifacts, which is the product backlog, sprint backlog, and other charts that are common in Scrum. The one I do, that the one in addition to what we show on the board, the data. Again, I think somebody asked this question. The product backlog is the requirement. Every software have requirement. This is where the bulk of the BA job will sit. Any of you guys that is aspiring to be BA, you'll be working on this backlog with your product owner all the time to make sure that, let's say you want to build a website, keep it simple. Website have database, front end, a lot of coding, and that is the technical aspect of that technical product. That website needs to be doing something. So you have to arrange in a value, ability to make payment, ability for the customer to be able to look at product, ability for administrator to be able to load product, edit, giving review, all those things. So these are the requirements are written in a story, like in a user story form. I'm going to do there's a section for user story as we go down, form in such a way that they are arranged like, okay, let me okay, yeah, good. So it's a list, they are arranged in such a way that those in a value driven way, that everyone that is taking cannot be broken down and taken into sprint planning for it to go into sprint. So backlog, there are requirements, there are work to be done, there are tasks, big task, they are required. So a list of desired work on the project, ideally expressions that each item has value to the user or customer, is prioritized by the product owner and prioritized in each sprint. For example, yeah, this is a shopping website. These are an example of a product backlog. In a shopping website, we have a database creation at the back, login page that everybody logged into, category, payment process, contact page, banner, all those areas. So, like, these are about 6 backlog now at the beginning that will be identified to break it down. And every backlog is now broken down into detail, into story, gradually. So all this product backlog now, when you look at them high level, must meet requirement for a shopping website. For creation of a database now, it has to be written in a user story form in such a way that it's driven value. Like, as an operating engineer, I want to be able to store all customer information so that I can serve customer. That is where you keep a database of product and customer information. How big is this job? We can allocate a story point of 40 into it. The bigger the story point, the longer the bigger the time that will be required to do it. A story point of 40 It's going to take almost 240 hours to do. 20 like that, gradually depending on the breakdown. So these are high level, and each backlog for every sprint, we might now take item number one, and this sprint, the backlog is prioritized by product owner based on the way the business wants it. Like in this backlog now, they want number one item to be database, number two to be login, like that. At the end of the day, it's only product owner that can change. At times, things might change that, oh, we now want number four to be number two, but it's only product owner that can change or prioritize the product backlog. So the process of reviewing, grooming, estimating, fine tuning is called product is grooming, and this is where 60% and even 80% of BA job will fall into. In addition to the BA, we always work with product owner to now break down, to design, break down all these requirements into small story that the development team can actually code. Why the product owner is focusing on the big features, the BA will be breaking this down using the BA skill of all the requirement facilitation, wireframe, and all those, breaking down gradually in such a way that the developer can be picking them and now be working on them. So this is a typical example of a backlog. So in managing backlog, individuals sign up for their own work. Okay, this is sprint backlog. That is product backlog. The next one is a sprint backlog, which is the list of work that will be done in the sprint. Keep this backlogs. Backlog are just tasks that need to be done. The sprint backlog is the task that we don't do sprint. So sprint backlog is signed off for work on their own choosing. The work is never assigned, which means the team will pick the work they want to do based on their own capability. The work is estimated on daily basis. At the end of the day, the remaining work, if the work is 10 hours at the beginning, the remaining hours is actually if it's now remaining 6 hours after 2 days, then that is the item is now labeled as 6 hours work. So at the end of the day, any team can add or change into it based on the way the work is evolving, and the sprint backlog is updated daily within the team. This is how a product backlog becomes a sprint backlog. From here, item one is creating a database creation. In sprint one, let's take item number one and take it into first sprint. Then we can break it down into different steps in creating database. Number one, designing of custom detail, design of payment detail, creation of customer detail, creation of payment detail, defining primary and foreign key. These are all technical. This is where the team will now come in during the sprint meeting to help the product owner defining the product owner PO. If you're going to be creating database here, these are the list of items that that will be required for us to be able to create this database. And based on this list now, we're going to allocate how many hours or that will require for it to be completed. At the end of the day, this list will now form, when it's agreed and prioritized, will now form what will go into the sprint backlog that the team will now work on. Which means when the sprint starts, a developer, part of the team is going to take this job, design a custom detail table. This is now a task form. But at the end of the day, all the tasks there must give us a business value at the end of the sprint in such a way that a database has been created. So by the time you are doing this in practical form, it's going to sink. But these are just how they translate. Product backlog translate to sprint backlog, small, like depends on the ratio 1 to 10, depending on how big it is. So also, item 2 here, if you look at item 2 here, okay, the item 2, based on what the business needs to, you want a login page, which means this login page is now going to be broken down again into what are the activities for us to create a login page. Here, item 2, develop a login page, develop a user name box component, develop a password bus component, they develop a reset password link, all those activities. This is where the team will work with. This is what the team will do during the spring meeting to make sure that all the technical depth, all the technical detail that are required to achieve that business value are highlighted, listed, estimated, and agreed that yes, these 17 items should be able to give us a business value at the end of the day in such a way that we will complete the login page. So by the time you do all this in practical way during the internship, it's going to sink. Yeah. So other artifacts is a spring goal, as I've said. The spring goal is like an overall motivating value that is driving the spring. For example, in this in an application in a spring, when I want to say in this spring, make application run in SQL or Oracle. That maybe during this spring, we want to make sure that the application we are working on is not only running on SQL, but can only have Oracle into it. Might be a spring goal from your backlog too. You can form your spring goal that the aim of this, the goal of this spring is to create all the database required for this shopping website. Spring 2 might be in spring 2, our goal is to make sure that at the end of the spring, we should be able to log into the website and make sure that all the login page are created. Then everything that is required to create the login page has to be identified, groomed, agreed for completeness, make sure that the technology are there, the resources are there, then the spring will start. And at the end of the spring demo, the team must be able to demonstrate to the product owner that I can log in, I can reset my password. That is it. So also part of the artifacts is a burn down chart. Burn down chart is what the Scrum team used to represent to show the progress of their work along the sprint. Like for example, for a 2 week sprint now of 5 day Monday to Friday. At the end of the day, at the beginning of the sprint, the total the total let's say the total hour here for this sprint 4 plus 2 6 8 14 or 21. Yeah, it might be that okay. In the creation of login page, the total sprint, the total point that we need is 21. Our own graph will start from here. Then which means at sprint 0 is 21. Gradually, every member of the team will be working. As we are moving down, as we are progressing along the sprint, the number of work remaining will be reducing gradually, gradually, gradually. That's where the name burning down comes from. You are burning it down gradually until the work is burned to zero at the end of the 2 weeks. So that's where the name burn, which means in day 6 now, the number of work remaining in 5.5 days is 15. In day 9 is only remaining less than 5. By 10, the work is done. So this also will be feasible to your stakeholder. This will show you and show the stakeholder your progress. So it's not until when there's a reporting on at the end of the month that people will know that whether you are making progress. So this is part of the openness and feasibility of value of agile. So any questions so far?
I have a question. So who manages the sprint backlog?
Who?
Who manages the sprint? Like who monitors the sprint backlog? Is it the Scrum Master?
Yeah, the Scrum Master and the project and the team. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
that's it. The product owner doesn't. They don't go there. They don't anything that product owner have to change there. They have to go through Scrum Master because from here now the gate is closed from here. Okay, sorry for going back. This thing from here. This guy, is great. Yeah, when it's handed over this and is committed. Are you getting it? The teams now owns it update it every day. You know, I said it that at the end of every day, the sprint backlog is updated to reflect the amount of work that is remaining.
Okay, so just a follow-up question. Okay, so this burn down chart, does it update itself as the developers do their work?
No, the Scrum Master is one of the roles Scrum Master to make sure that it's updated, is accurate. That's part of what Scrum Master will be doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. I think so far we've covered all the basic agile intro. Are you getting it? We've covered the role, the ceremony.
No, it's not already. But
Yeah, we cover most of the framework from the role to ceremony to activate. So, sorry, the remaining part of the lecture now is I've decided to now pick some topic and do what we call deep dive into them to deepen the understanding. You know what I'm saying? You won't see something, you won't see any new topic, but it will maybe an expansion of what we've already discussed. Are you getting it? To drive it home more. Yeah. Okay, your question, please.
Hi. I just wanted to say something on the back of what the last person asked around the sprint burn down chart. So, like, if you're using Jira, I believe it does update itself automatically in Jira.
Yeah, there's a metric table. You still have to plug your points. Are you getting it? Somebody has to every graph because it's changing every day. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody has to go there to press one or two things for the graph to adjust. Somebody has to supply the data based on the way
Yeah,
the
but
selected. Yeah,
okay, that's a bit confusing to me because from like I mean I work as a Scrum Master right now
yeah.
and I use Jira in my organization. So this is news to me, to be honest. So I just want to get an understanding. So when at the end of the sprint, if I go to my reports in Jira,
Yeah.
um, it actually plots like I can see the progress even during the sprint, and at
Yes.
the end of the sprint, I can see that it's actually moving, and I don't have to do anything. So I'm just wondering, is there something I'm doing wrong? Do I really need to go in there to update it?
So it depends. Yeah, that is the agile maturity of every organization. They depend. There are some
Okay.
there are some organizations that they've key in a lot of reporting tool into their Jira
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
to draw the data automatically. Are you getting it?
Yes.
There are some
Yes.
that you have to go to another burn down chart in Excel. Are you getting it?
Ah. Okay. I
Where
get you. Yes.
you have to update. So it depends
Okay.
on the sophistication of every the tool everybody is using. But
Using.
it
Okay.
has to be updated, whether it's the system driven or Scrum Master, but Scrum Master has to make sure that it's updated. And before it's updated, all the parameters that the reporting is pulling from, those parameters need to be updated too. That's it.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yeah.
Please, it may be a bit funny, but is there anything like burnt up chart?
Yes, there's a bunch of
Okay. Then please, what's the difference between burnt down and burnt up?
okay, burnt up. Let's keep it simple. Burnt down is when the work is being done. It's going down. Burnt up chart are the one when you are building the scope up before you start doing the job. Are you getting it? You are adding more work into it, and it's going up. Are you getting it? At the end of the day, when you are building your backlog can actually, yeah. Sorry, that's it. I think I missed that. That's a very good question. Are you getting it? Your backlog can be represented by a burnt up to know the level of work that is available in the backlog. That shows how LD is your backlog. Are you getting it? For a PO we have a burnt up which is showing how many work is available for team to do. Do you understand? Let's say
Yeah, okay.
yeah, like all the story points now here can be plotted up, showing that at every point in time, this for any backlog to be LD, it means that at every point of time, at the end of every sprint, the team are not waiting for work to be added. Which means before the completion of one sprint, the PO will have groomed and make sure that there's enough task in the backlog for them to pick from. In that kind of way, the way you measure the progress of a backlog is actually burning up. Are you getting it? So it's accumulating up based on the story. Why you are doing the job is burning down. Do you understand? It's reducing. So the more
Okay,
the
yes.
PO keep
Is
on
burn up, sorry to interrupt, is burn up chart an artifact as well then?
is what
Is it an artifact as well?
is an artifact here.
Okay,
Product artifact showing the level of work that needs to be done, the level of
all
work
right.
in portfolio. So like a BA and a PO now, the more they having what the more they want to be grooming and be increasing their backlog, so that when
Mm.
they finish, they have enough work to come and draw from and do. Are you getting it? At the end of the
Yeah,
day,
thank you. Yeah.
all the burn up, you see burn down, but gradually to the PO work will be coming down the spring is moving towards the right. So okay, yeah. So let's do a deep dive in some Scrum activities. I think we cover some basic, for a matter of the cover some basic activities now, but I've picked some topic too so that we have a deep down more knowledge of the particular area. Number one, daily stand up. That is the most popular ceremony in Scrum. The participants of this are, I say, it's a must for the development team. Scrum Master, not mandatory but show if the team don't have enough of Scrum knowledge. Most of the development team, they are expert in their own BA, tester, and programmer. You still have to make sure one of the main work of Scrum Master is to make sure that is the agile coach for the Scrum team, for the team, to make sure that they understand the processes. Because these guys, if you allow them, they'll go and deliver in a waterfall. They will deliver any environment. Are you getting it? But what you are saying now that you are a Scrum Master, you want them to deliver using Scrum. So it's now the responsibility of the Scrum Master to make sure that this team they have adequate knowledge of Scrum. So if they have adequate knowledge of Scrum, in some cases the Scrum Master may not have to, which means the team is now self-driven. It's efficient. Are you getting it? They're doing very well. So they can run their daily Scrum themselves. Product owner who is optional too. Who attend maybe to do what we call to look at where the progress in, or maybe there's a question that is coming up that the product owner might be able to help with some impediment. If the impediment has been coming up gradually, that this Scrum Master might invite the product owner, guys, maybe you have been here, you can come today, maybe you might shed more light to help the team to move forward. So they can, but they don't have to. But it's meant for so kindly mute your background. So these are other. Is anybody asking question? Okay, if it's noise, please mute your background if you are not talking. Scrum rules and responsibilities at daily Scrum. What you need to do: the Scrum Master check the burn down chart, reassign tasks if required, synchronize, think collaboratively, and focus on the entire sprint goal. It's always to high level to make sure that at the end of 2 weeks we are able to deliver our commitment to the product owner. The team will come with a lot of issue, progress, conflict. It's going to make sure they are is resolving them. Is making sure it's focusing the team. Is making sure any blocker is removing it. The Scrum Master we is going to find the best time and places, facilitate and impose the Scrum call rule, protect the team and call from the outside interference, pack pack lot discussion for the daily Scrum meeting, ensure punctuality. If you are getting late, it's going to be putting you on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that look at the bond down, check if any Once him overloaded by work and reassign where possible, own the impediment, update the impediments. There's impediment charts too, which is the list of the, just like in every project we have a risk log and issue log in a Scrum. It's called impediment charts. Is where you log all the issue. It's going to be updating the PO on the story and also making sure that the board is healthy. Why the development team, sorry, the blue one is what is expected of the development team. Sorry, can the admin mute the person that is where the noise is coming from the background? So, as the developer, BA, or part of the team, what you do is about what do you do yesterday. You talk about your three agenda for the meeting. That three agenda. What you are planning to do today, is there any impediment? One of your join the call, you update your own task. You task, okay, task update to any peer in case of vacation or any validation, update remaining hour, keep note, raise concern, move your task on the board, update the product owner if you need detail. So these are detail when you start your the internship of what is expected of the team. If at any case there's product owner there, you get quick clarification, is not there to bore anybody, get notified for any story that is ready to review, give update on any impediment that has been escalated to the PO, update change and prioritization, and that's it. So this what a summary of during the daily stand-up or war is expected of everybody. So that is that's in there. So the purpose of daily stand-up is why are we doing it every day? Number one, it's in line with face-to-face communication of the agile team, and it's help with team coordination and self-organization. It give progress, help us to look at the risk and dependency. It allow the team to take proactive decision. It's allow the team to look at the daily strategy. We have a sprint strategy. Maybe during the day, we might say, okay, guys, let's do a story that's going to resolve this today so that A, B, or C can be able to do something tomorrow. So the dependency of their work is actually where they align it and they identify the roadblocks. So these are the key reason why if you are doing this every day, if every day, there's no way the project will not be successful than when um, than a system where, like in the waterfall, most project meetings like two weekly or weekly meeting updates, some monthly, depends on how big is the team. So if you are meeting every day, you get used to yourself, and there's no way the project will not progress. It will not be progressing in the right direction. Okay, this is okay, another slide I can add as a guide for the ceremony. For sprint meeting, for a 1 week sprint, a 1 week sprint, a 1 hour is recommended. These are all recommendations. Meeting can drag, depend on how prepared the depend on how efficient is the backlog. For 2 weeks, 2 hours can be okay. 4 hours, yeah. So this can act as a guide too in terms of when you are planning your meeting, or in terms of the if the Scrum Master is booking the meeting, in terms of the time and venue planning. So let's talk about the team. I think we talk about the daily stand up now. So let's do a deep dive about the team. So these are the overall structure of the team. We have the product owner, the core team, are the one inside the rectangle, the Scrum Master, the girl, the dev, the QA with the tester, the development, the architect, the business analyst, the dev. So I think we have more dev than many things because 80% of most of the sprint work has to be do a lot of development there. So then the product owner is liaising with the stakeholder, liaising with the business owner, the paymaster, and other. Can you see? So this is actually showing the stakeholder, I call it stakeholder diagram for the team. So they give you an overview of if you are a tester, you fall in as a part of the team. If you are a BA, you fall in part of the team. I think everybody there's a technical expectation of tester, BA, and dev, and all these things, and the architect in what they do within the team. Yeah, Scrum Master. So this is the detailed role of what Scrum Master does. Scrum Master encourage the team by ensuring there's a face-to-face communication. Team is self-organizing and accountable. Make sure that they are transparent and open up and standing up, and is fixing the problem without waiting for to find who broke it. So there's no blame game. So that's one of the key. If you are planning to be a Scrum Master, you have to be able, in terms of encouraging team, by doing one or all the item in that list. Also, Scrum Master facilitates all the meetings, Scrum ceremony, team collaboration, team release meeting, create a stable definition of done. The definition of done is an expectation, like acceptance criteria, that will be showing that work has to be that work needs to be done, that a completed work has been done, like acceptance criteria. Is going to agree with the product owner that product owner, by the time we finish, what are the 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you want to see that will make you agree that this work is now complete. So we call it acceptance criteria. So it's going to work along with the product owner to deliver, to agree all these things. And during the demo, during the sprint demo, those division of them will be checked against the output. So they maintain stable pace, and they encourage the Scrum Master facilitate team building. In terms of reflecting aspect, it helps the team to create information, radiation, burn down chart, status board, so that they can have visibility of what they are doing. Help the team to report to management, because it share the team from external interference. So it's liaising between the team and the management for any issue or any impediment that need management to resolve. Help the team to retrospect and continuously improve in their process, ensuring that they are carrying out their sprint retro all the time in the right way, in the right manner, and making sure that agreed actions are completed. So also help the team to maintain Scrum tools and reflect on issue through the team observation from outside of the team. Because it's not working with the team, you can actually sit down from outside and look at who is performing, who is not performing, who need help, who need to be um, I will call rewarded. Are you getting it? In the team. So no matter that equal to the reward. Appreciate the team role, take pride in what they do, and they celebrate success together. Also, the guy protect the team, mediate through conflict, help the team to get rid of impediment, protect them from obstacle. If they ask you how does the Scrum Master protect the team, that is it resolve conflict, get rid of impediment, and also protect them from obstacle from outside. It encourage them to learn. Scrum Master coaches them, allow them to learn and share knowledge, and continuously self-learning on everything regarding agile, coach and conduct the team, interact again experience with other Scrum Master and feedback to the team, give regular feedback to the team, and help them to monitor metrics as a catalyst for change. So these are the all as a Scrum Master, these are the things you have to be doing regularly, one at a time, at every stages in the process, to keep the process going, to keep the Scrum process going, because the Scrum Master is the process owner, and every other thing here, you have to be improving the process and motivating the team in order to get efficient delivery. Also, in a more simple way, as a Scrum Master see impediment, see make sure that the relationship within the team, see that make sure that the backlog is selected. They do what do they do? Implement, promote, and improve the team, facilitate meeting, remove impediment, encouraging and carry out meeting, protect the team. Scrum Master listen to product owner, the team, and the team lead, and they think about planning, continuous improvement, through that need to be done, the delivery. So this is another summary of guide or what is expected of a Scrum Master. So I just put this slide to show that Scrum Master can be a guy or can be a lady. You don't have to. So it's he's a servant leader, he's a facilitator, he's a teacher, he's a coach. So we are wearing many hats as a Scrum Master. It's a very, very interesting job, and you're a servant leader that you don't have capacity. You have to mediate, you have to negotiate. There's no authority unlike project manager that can have authority in the waterfall. Scrum Master is more of a servant leader, where in most cases, in all cases, you have to negotiate, mediate, facilitate, and create overall positive environment for effective delivery, and make sure that Scrum processes run very well and effective. So there's another slide for Scrum Master to into detail. So many art of Scrum Master is juggling a lot of art at the same time. You're a referee, you are handle disruption, you are a go-to person, you inspect and adapt, you manage reach, you observe, you coach. So it's a very interesting role. So any question on Scrum Master? I think that is the last slide. Okay, there's another one, effective. Characteristics of an effective Scrum Master must be a good facilitator, a moderator, a process steward, somebody that like process, must be knowledgeable, serve the team, a coach or mentor, morale booster, influencer. So if you have any of these qualities, you can be a very, very good Scrum Master. So it's not dependent that you want to be loud or dependent that want to speak to class or you want your order to be taken. As a Scrum Master, you don't have any power on the team. You are negotiating all the time. But they see you, the way they respect you, because you solve problem, you help them. So respect, begin respect. So from there, that's how you earn your own respect as the leader of the team. So you earn it by doing. So okay, let's do deep dive into product owner. A product owner has to be visionary. So you have to manage the stakeholder requirement, represent the user, communicate the vision to the Scrum team, and set the goal. You are the person that is closer to the business. Developers, they are there to do their work. You have to make sure that you communicate the vision of the whole project to the team and ensure that every sprint is delivering value that is in line with the business objective. Scope. Scope in short form is work to be done. So it's in charge of scope of work to be done. He owns and maintains the product backlog, understand and articulate the team requirement, make key decisions on what needs to be done in terms of prioritization, and set acceptance criteria, with definition of done that I talked about the other time. So during the releases it also facilitates, it attend daily meeting, optional, or you attend. That's part of the facilitating skill as well. Ensuring that the product backlog is maintained and current, provide authoritative knowledge on the system being developed. The PO must understand end to end the system that being developed. That is when the PO can add value in terms of what needs to be done. and in terms of business getting value quickly. So it has to be a knowledgeable person about the project. So it improves, promote continuous improvement by making sure that checking that they are doing their retro, coach and mentor stakeholder on Scrum. On the business side too, the PO can tell them the method we are using, why Scrum is the best, send the Scrum to them and coach them because they interact all the time. It's knowledgeable about the Scrum too. So it's you can coach them, or in case a Scrum Master can work closely with the PO to coach other other stakeholder. So other is chill the team from user stakeholder and requirement engineering, because the product owner, the business, the user won't have access to the team. They only have access to the business will only have access to the PO. So in that way, it's acting, it's protecting the team from being confused, because in most cases the business people don't know. They at times they don't know what they want. They just want a solution solved. They don't know how. So it's the product owner that will listen to them, understand the process, and be able to document those things in backlog in such a way that the team can actually work on without being confused. So these are the summary of what the PO does in most cases. And interesting, most people that want to be a BA will work with product owner all the time to do nearly all these tasks at times. So in the summary, this is a PO, dividing vision, managing backlog, prioritizing need, overseeing development stage, anticipating client need, acting as a primary liaison between the team, between the development team and the business, evaluating product progress, participate in daily stand-up, and terminate a sprint. If a sprint, that's a very good one. If a sprint is not going to meet the goal or the business value has changed and we need to reprioritize, it's only the product owner that can stop the sprint. Any questions so far? Let's talk again. We have because this is
So basically,
yeah, this is where you
sorry,
guys
Mr. Ben.
sorry, this is where you guys are coming in now. If you want to come as a Scrum Master, a PO, a BA, if you need any clarification, this is where you need to talk. At the end of the day, if you're a Scrum team, you have to be one of them. Yeah. Okay. Question?
Yes. Does the Scrum Master write the user story?
The team is the team that writes. The team writes, the product owner writes, the BA writes, the Scrum Master can write, but at the end of the day, is to ensure that it's written. Are you getting it? In the appropriate way, is to make sure that the user story is in a doable stage. So it depends on, it's going to facilitate the sprint meeting to make sure that the story are broken down, they are not complex, and make sure that the team understand the story. So at times it might have to write, at times maybe it depends on the knowledge. Are you getting it? But the responsibility lie on the team. Why the story in the backlog has to be written by the BA, and the backlog is owned by the product owner. So the product owner and the BA will be working on that backlog, writing the story there, breaking the epic down in those cases. But when the story is moved from the product backlog to sprint backlog, then the team will start breaking it down into smaller story in a task. Are you getting it? You can't say, in some cases, depending on the rapport and the knowledge of the Scrum Master, it may actually help them, but it's not responsible. It's always to make sure, it's just accountable to make sure that it's done. Is that clear?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ben.
But you need to know the knowledge. You have to teach them how to slice story, how to break down story. You have to spot that no, this story will not work, it's too big. No, this estimation is too high based on experience. Are you getting it? So yeah.
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Hi. Please, I just want to ask about Jira because I've not seen you mention Jira, but I've had people say in updating the burn down chart and even the backlog, there is need for a Scrum Master to have the knowledge of Jira, and during the internship, will this be covered as well, please?
Yes, you have Jira. Jira is a workflow. It's a workflow software where it's just like a mixture of Microsoft Excel and Word, where you create your table, you write the story, and you get it, you link it. So it's a tool that you will use during the internship. It's a workflow that every day you go there, and it's where the backlog is going to be listed. It's where the sorry, the product backlog will be listed in Jira. The sprint backlog will be listed in Jira. Are you getting it? The table will be in the Jira. All these items will be represented in the Jira. Or maybe if you're using Jira or use Microsoft Azure, all the items here, are you getting it? Your there'll be Jira board where to do done in Jira. There'll be a column in your Jira where this is where your product backlogs are. There'll be a column in the Jira where this is your sprint and who is working on it. Are you getting it? So you're going to be taught that in a practical demonstration during the internship.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it's not only Jira. Sorry, it's not only Jira that is out there. There's Microsoft Azure. So I don't know which one they will use for you, whether it's Jira or Microsoft Azure, but they are all the same, following the same principle. It's just like you are using a Mac Word and Windows Word. Word is Word. So any other question? Okay, another level I will cover is BA, BA in agile environment. Because there was at the beginning of during the like 2, 3, 4 years ago when the store was becoming popular, everybody was scared that there will not be more project manager, no more BA, blah blah, all those things. So, but it's a BA role is actually very valuable in agile. I get it. As a business analyst, is who understand the business problem and opportunity in the context of requirement and recommend solution that enable the organization to achieve the goal. But BA is one of those roles that's benefited very well from Agile because Agile and Scrum has actually gradually reduced the pressure on BA. Before BA, they do a lot of heavy-handed business requirements that they have to write and write and write and draw flow diagram, this and that. But now, instead of writing the whole project upfront, they do it in stories. So they still, for example, before a BA will write a requirement for this website, yeah, as a document maybe up to like 150 pages from the beginning before the project will start. By doing meetings, all their BA skill to gather requirement from the business, facilitate and all those things. So bulk of the job of BA there will be writing the requirement document, very heavy document that will be signed by both the business and the BA. And based on that, the BA will now be translating it into high level language for the developer to work on. So, but now Agile has made BA work very easy. Instead of the BA to sit down and write requirement for 1 to 6 now, he's just going to pick number one alone and just do it based on requirement, blow it up, work with the PO, help them break the story, fine tune, help with the design. So the BA job is now simpler in Scrum than before. So because the PO cannot do all the job alone, the BA work along with the PO to get things done. So what do business analysts do? They elicit and analyze the requirement from the customer, develop a communicable artifact to facilitate development of solution with respect to requirement. Then they convert the requirement from a low level language to high level language, and they validate requirements to ensure that from their test requirement they help building a right test case and all those things. So I know you've done a BA training anyway, or some of you have done BA training. So the BA is a bona fide part of the um, Scrum team. So I think this slide is just showing the iteration of the agile approach and the traditional. So BA work in a sprint, unlike before, where the analysis is almost 80% of where the BA will work. So BA will conduct all those analysis and design now as sprint in a smaller form. So it's now very easy to be a BA than before. You don't have to have a gigantic knowledge of all the software. Now all you need to focus on is the backlog we are working on. Write the story. There's a template. Write it in a BDD, behavioral driven way of writing the story in such a way that the developer can understand how to code it. So, so there's some environment where the PA we actually play. Maybe a very senior BA that you experience can play. Sometimes we play a product owner role where they liaise with the business on behalf of the team, because there are some projects where they don't have PO. I think I've gone for an interview before that. They wanted me to be a Scrum Master, but they said they don't have PO. They want me to act as both Scrum Master and a PO. Those are the two conflicting. There will be conflict of interest in those two. So a Scrum Master can't be PO. So in that case, when there is no PO, a BA can stand in, because a BA can understand business requirement very well to some level and seek help to 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 translate to the team. So BA can perform a PO role, but they have to be senior role, and you have to make sure that you're doing you have a high level understanding of it. But most BA now, you can have a product owner that have about 3 or 4 BA working under the same PO, where what they do is to break story, write story, slide story, groom a backlog all the time. And the BA is part of the 3 amigos too, to make sure that they check the requirement with the tester and the developer to check understanding before the development. So why do we need business analyst agile? You still need BA because developer cannot elicit requirements. It's not the business developer to elicit requirements. Their own is to code. Stakeholder can now model and document their own processes. You still need BA to do that. So you need analysis expert. So a BA is still a very viable role in agile. So we're encouraging people to still go for BA role. Yeah. So activity BA does in the agile team. So scope the system, translate the business need, translate the technical issue, model and documentation, act as a communication broker, test and validate, represent the stakeholder. So they still juggle within all this role in agile, but in most cases, 60% of the BA they work on stories, fine tuning story, breaking it down, designing it, translating it, eliciting it, and all this stuff. So where you work as a PE under PO, there are many interlink between relationship of BA and PO. So it depends on the organization and it depends on how they want to the agile maturity of organization. So in most cases, usually a PO will do what is on the right: business strategy, customer focus, competition analysis, business priority, business engagement, funding endorsement, market analysis, requirement issue. Why BA will do requirement strategy, project focus, non-functional requirement, help story splitting, modeling, align the business architecture, build business communication, and in some cases, the role in the middle, in the intersections, can be done by either BA or PO. So a BA, PO can help in writing story too, backlog refining, acceptance testing, business case, story gathering, technical focus, and help in product strategies. So if you are confused about what does a BA does in Scrum, these are the area when you get to a job, you can focus on area, show you apply as a BA, make sure these are the skills you align very well that you can the value you can bring to the team. So there's a model that okay or not okay in terms of the agile maturity, a common BA and PO pattern. Product owner has a breach. If in a situation where a BA is part of development team and product owner is the only person that is liaising between business and the development team, that's a very good model. That's a direct tradition of business goal interface to other business stakeholders. In this case, a BA is allowed to focus on all the green tasks within the team, while the PO is doing most of the interfacing. But it depends on agile maturity too. There are some time where there will be BA coming between the PO and the team. In that case, it's not the best. It's going to dilute the goal, and there may be a loss of communication. But some organizations are really like that. It's only that BA manage they work closely with the team, so it's only the BA that is interacting with the PO, and the development team is only liaising with the BA. So in that case, BA does not have authority to change. So there'll be almost a bit of inefficiency here in this kind of arrangement. Also, if BA is having as a process when there's no BO, that can also work. That may be as authority of a PO in this case to interface, to change backlog, to boom backlog, to stop sprints, and all those capacity. Also depending on the resources and the maturity of a BO of the organization. So the best one is one where the BA is working directly under the PO, which is the most common one. Where, as I've said, we have PO, we have 4 BA working for them in a agile in a Scrum team. So if you're a BA, you go through this very well and see the skill you need to brush on, and the area you need to develop, and you understand yourself in any role. What's your role? Are you working with PO? Are you working directly with the business and all those? That will determine the kind of expectations that you have, that the expectation of your role. So we're 1 minute past 10. So uh, that is I still have a lot of topic to cover. Are you? I don't know. I know I'm meant to finish by 10. You can still finish put some slide. Though I'm going to be coming like into the internship to do a deep dive into some agile topics once in a while. So we're going to be doing a bit of hands-on then, not the introduction like this. We're going to be doing examples and look at case studies. So if you can see stay, I can still cover a bit of user story to some level. Somebody asked of story the other time. So let's rush through user story. A user story is a simply a description of change in the system behavior from the user perspective. It's describe what user want to do with the system.
Hold on, Bernard.
Yeah.
1 minute. Yeah. So I know this topic that you are covering also will be useful for other disciplines as well, be it BAs and QAs.
Yeah.
I think it's something that we'll also cover during the internship, if that's fine.
Okay.
So yeah. So
yeah.
which is okay, because you have to still repeat it anyway, actually. So
Yeah.
we'll have like maybe 2 or 3 sessions that you have to do kind of prep. So
Yeah.
these sessions, we will have even BAs also that QA will attend, Scrum Master will attend. So everybody has to have knowledge of what is happening across board, basically. And I know all these things kind of interwoven. Having to hear it from different people would actually be great. So that's fine. So I will let you finish, but before you do that, I know some people, because we only had little time actually. So, and the internship was very popular even before we kind of released the time. Uh, Everyone, some people already registered, and we got enough number. We got enough number that we need, and some people were not able to. So I'm just going to extend this to anyone here, right? If you kind of missed it, right, and you still want to enroll, you can signify now. Then we'll look at how we can accommodate it. It's something that we're actually looking into critically, because it's not something that we'll do. We already got the number that we wanted actually. And you can know that the admission, the link has already been pulled down. So if you are going to, if you think you want to do the internship as a Scrum Master, so you need to let us know now. We'll just send a private link to you that you'll be able to register with that, if that's fine. So, all right, Bernard, you can continue if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, as the name say, user is user perspective. Is a story that sits in users a space of a solution space rather than problem. Is at the end of the day why you are doing the action you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So it describes the user want to do with the system. So it's a great way of linking value into actions, not just do a task that at the end of the day, why this task? So a story must be linked to a user, what a user need to be done to want to do, and the value the user would derive after carrying out the task. So that is why in Scrum, in the normal waterfall, we do task, we do milestone, we do we break down milestone to start with, link starts to start, starts to finish. We use Gantt chart, all those things, whether management task, technical task, all they are lumped together. But in Agile, which is one of why Agile is successful, is like every story, every task is people driven. If that task is not going to be useful for somebody, there's no point doing it, which is in line with the value of Agile, which is act of minimizing the work to be done. So every story has to be user driven, and there's a format where you write as a role. I want to action this so that I can do this. For example, if you want to log into your online banking as a customer, I want to put my name to my online page, my details and password to the login page so that I can view my account statements. Yeah, that is it. So that kind of action and user driven is part of the how agile is ensuring that every money spent, every sprint, every story done, every work carried out is actually driving value. So the story must answer at least these three basic questions: who is it for, what do they want to do, and why, before it can be a story. So they call it behavioral driven. Are you getting it? So if you are writing your story, it has to meet those who, as a role, like as a customer, I want to be able to, what do you want to do? I want to be able to select an item and go to my cart. Are you getting it? Why do you want to? Why is it going to your cart? Because you want it to be payment. You want to make payment and get it delivered. That may be a big epic the way I've said it, but it can be broken down in such a way that every story have who, what, and why. If it does not tick all these three criteria, it's not a good story. So that is part of the check that part of the activities that is done during the sprint planning. And that is part of the key role as a BA. You must be a very good story writer. As a Scrum Master too, somebody asked the Scrum Master, the skill in Agile is a comb skill. You don't have to sit in one place where you have to have you might be very strong in one skill, but you are expected to be on average on the other area. So every Agile team is encouraged to have one or two or three to be multi-talented in the area, multitasking. So, for example, in a library, as a librarian patron, that is role. I want to search for a book by exact title, what the role wants to do, so that so that I can find a book I want without noise in research results. So this table is a good example of a story that answer who, as a librarian, what do you want to do? I want to search for a book. Why? So that I'll be able to find it without noise. So the story is already structured in this way, simple and coincide to outline and answer this three behavioral driven strategy. So I know I've mentioned story, epic, and story point in during my explanation. I just want to touch about them. I think story I've overflowed story. Story are the collection of the next set of future that the team wants to commit to. They are the tasks that need to be done, that need to be written in a behavioral driven way, just as we just talk about. But epic are collection of those stories which can be broken down in a small task. To keep it simple, epic is like a big story that can still be broken down into smaller one. You know, when the story is too big, it's an epic. I've showed you, like, for example, a backlog will contain an epic, like designing the. Want to design a login page the other time. Might be a big epic. I want to design a login page so that people can log in. How do you design a login page? That will not be broken down into different aspects. Just have demonstrated in the product backlog. So a story point is a weighing system to allocate to know how heavy or the time is going to take to complete a story. It follows Fibonacci sequence, which I've talked about before, and there will still be a deep dive in the internship on that too. Yeah. So that is a story in summary. Another aspect, I know we've talked about Bundan chart. I will want to deep dive into understanding how to read why Bundan chart and how to read that. It's very simple to read. Are you getting it? So, what is Bundan? Bundan chart is a revelation of the completion of something against defined baseline. As I've explained before, you align your tasks on the vertical axis, your time on the horizontal, and then you measure as you progress. So it's a progressive way of representing a world that is progressing along a time bound environment. So your work is on the left hand side while the time is on the right hand side. So the bond chart is a simple way to represent progress against baseline using single chart. It's very easy for others to interpret and understand. Because that's a standpoint, endpoint, baseline, and progress. Going to be showing you progress today. It's very visual. So the difference between baseline and progress is very easy to tell when you see. A baseline is okay. I'm going to do a practical example. This is, for example, in this chart now. Let's interpret this. The baseline is the yellow, which shows the normal way the work should go in a straight line in ideal world. The work should be zooming down from 80 down to by day 5 to 0. But in the real way, we run into problem. At times, it's not going to run. It's not going to smooth like that. So the actual pattern of work is represented in blue, while the ID case is in the pink. So the actual effort line is behind the baseline. This shows that the project is behind schedule And if you look at the right most plot, there's work outstanding at the end. So all project activity has not been finished. So when you see a chart like this, that the baseline is down, it shows that this work is running late. Then you have to do something to make sure that you do it. You accelerate it before you can meet your set objective. So this is how when you see a bunch like this, that the estimate, the actual is above the estimate. It's showing that it's running late. The other one is the work started very well. Before you know, the team were working very well, and they are very working hard. They are above they are ahead of the schedule. When the actual is under, it shows that the team they are doing fantastic. They are running faster than expected, and they are ahead of this of the projected time. Let's say you have by the like by day 4, as estimated, they were supposed to be on 30, maybe around 35. But if you look at if you draw your line on the two on the blue, they're already on 25 remaining. So it shows that this is a good work that is going ahead of cycle. You have to look at it. That's when you can tell if they are moving fast like it. Does that mean that their estimation was not very accurate, or they were very conservative, or is that just a team that is very motivated? You have to find out, guys. At the end of during the rest road, that this spring we did very well. What really happened? Are we very motivated? Do we have any bonus, or what really is there any behavior, any way we work that actually make us to work faster? This is why we do retro. So at the end of the day, we can capture the knowledge here, the knowledge that is driving this good activity, so that we can keep it as part of what we need to keep. So, for example, this is another burn down where the work was going astray before. They are running wide. They're doing very bad. And there's an intervention here, maybe an impediment reviewed, or any knowledge injected, or any input that now allow the team to adjust themselves parallel. At the end of the day, they still finish on time. So in most cases, when we are slowing down, at the end of the day, our graph, if your graph is going like this here, and your board is visible to everybody as part of the openness of agile, your PO will know that I'm not sure that this guy can finish this sprint, because the way the bond down chart is looking, the one that's why he's running away from the from the from the ground. So at the end of the day, there may be an urgent action that need to be done before to bring them back on course. So these are different interpretations of the way you can interpret a bond down chart. I know most of them can be done in during the training. You see part of you see one of your sprint that may look like it. Also, this one is like a kind of a team where they were doing very well before, fantastic. Maybe something happened and they started going. So if your graph is like that, they do the rescue. You need to analyze why, what happened, how did you go wrong, what really happened there, how did we fall back? We already just like you are like a match, you're already leading 3-0, and you're already thinking that you have to rest your striker, and and things happen again, and you are losing. So these are part of tools that you're going to use during your spring recto to analyze your behavior. So these are a good example of abnormal behavior in a team that we need to get introduced to. So the burn down is making things visible. It's showing the behavior. It's showing the progress of the work too. So that is so far. I know taking your time. Yeah, that is 18 minutes over. Any question? So you have like 2 minutes for question. Any question? Let's be interactive. Any question on any aspect? Now we've got to the end of the lecture so far. Yeah.
Yes,
I have a quick question about the Three Amigos session, please. So I just wanted to find out how often should the team have a Three Amigo during a sprint? Is it as needed, or do they have to have the Three Amigo on every single story, or is it just the user story that's not clear?
I think it depends on the agile maturity of every organization. For every, it's compulsory for any user story that is not clear. You know what I'm saying? But for any for user story that is very straightforward, you don't need to waste your time. But Amigo
Okay.
allow people to be on the same page. But if it's so glaring or it's familiar, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that may but
Okay.
where there's an issue where um there's an information gap, that is where the Amigo strategy actually be introduced into Scrum to make sure that the tester, the BA, the developer, they are on the same page.
Understand. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. So, any other questions, guys? Free to ask. Any topic we've covered, any area. Okay, in absence of any other questions, so see you guys in the internship.